Welcome to the video lectures on compiler design. In our previous video lecture we have seen what is this parser, what is syntax analysis, and we have seen what is role of parsers, and what is context free grammar. We have seen how the grammar can be given and how to derive. Of course we have seen what is sentential form and leftmost derivation and rightmost derivation with examples. Then ambiguous grammar, what is ambiguity. So like this we have seen some basic concepts which are required when you want to learn parsing techniques. So now we'll go for top down parsing. Parsers are divided into two types. Basically one is top down, the other one is bottom up. The first thing what we'll see, what is top down parser, which will parse trees from top to bottom. That means top means root to the leaves. So that means when a grammar is given here, you have to derive that one from start symbol up to the leaves. That means all that non-terminals should become terminals. So let us take, if I write S tends to AB, where A tends to A, and let us suppose B tends to BB/B. So when you want to derive a string like that is top down, means I'll take from the root S tends to AB. What is A means I'll derive as only one A, and what is B means of course I have two options. Let us suppose I'll take BB1, and next time of course you want you can take again BB, or else if you want to take B you can take again BB I'll take, and what is this B means B I'll take. So the input string generated is ABB. So ABBB. So like this you can take. So can I say it's a leftmost? Always I'm going with the leftmost. Yeah, that is like leftmost derivation of a grammar. You call it as top down parser. So we'll see how it can be done. So there are two types, backtracking and here predictive parser. And not only like when you derive like this every time recursively you are applying. So what is a recursively you are going, if there are non-terminals again you are going like this recursively you are generating now. So this is basically you call it as recursive descent parsers, but you can have like this two types, backtracking and predictive parser. And backtracking, that means this recursiveness you can do with backtracking. Here backtracking is not required. So that's why this is, we may call it as a recursive descent parser with no backtracking. So again also you call it as predictive parser or LL of 1 grammar. Using LL of 1 grammar you can take. So now we will see one by one what is this backtracking and what is this predictive parser. So backtracking, so this is a very simple method, and of course there are no logics in that. A simple and of course a simple blind method will go in backtracking. So here we'll check for the options for a particular production, for a particular non-terminal. What are the options we have? We have to one by one substitute. If I substitute one derivation, if it is not allowing us to get the input string, then we have to check for another alternative. Like this you have to follow the things sequentially. So let us suppose if I take this grammar, S tends to CAD, A tends to AB/A. Let us suppose I want to derive input string S, that is CAD, that I need to get. So anyway I have to start from S. What is S tends to? I have only one option, that is C, A and D. Now again I'll go with derivation of C, means there is no derivation. Why? Because C is a terminal. What is a non-terminal? Yes, there are two options we have. So which option to be selected means in backtracking you first select first option, whether you may reach to the correct answer or not. So you have first substitute like this. So C is over and then A, then B. Now you can see the first input anyway first it is reaching. Second input A is the symbol you are getting, but the next input is D, but here you are getting B. So that's why you feel like this answer is not correct. So that means substituting A tends to AB in this step is not correct. That's why you are going back. Like this you are going back. Now what you are doing? Now you are checking for the alternative. What is the alternative? A tends to AB, we are not reaching to the correct answer. That's why I'll take the alternate. What is A tends to A? So I'll substitute. So next, anywhere D, yes, terminal. So now you can see the answer CAD. Is it our exact answer? Yes. So that's why your input is accepted. So like this you can derive input string with respect to a grammar in the concept of backtracking, simply checking for the alternatives. So this is what we call it as backtracking in top-down parsing. But what is the disadvantage? Of course, it is very time-taking process. Why? Because let us suppose here we have extends to CAD is the one production we have. What if I have so many options? Like let us suppose extends to A slash something like B slash something like AB, something like AC. Like this we have A tends to something like A uppercase A, AC, and of course BA. Like this if I have. Now in order to get an input string, first I need to substitute this one, and I have to derive. I need to substitute A means what is this I need to take, and of course what is this A, I need to check it out somewhere. So is there any terminating? So B tends to somewhere B is there, somewhere BB is there, okay, like this. So C tends to something like C, something like CD, like this we have. So now when I want to derive this one for a particular input string, I need to substitute this one. What is A? A means I need to take among these three, I need to take this one. So among what is A means, again A means I need to take this value. Whether you are getting the output correct? No. If suppose no, then I have to check for the next alternative. Instead of A, I need to take AC. Again what is C? Again you need to substitute. If not, you have to come back. Like this every alternate I need to check it out. Definitely this procedure will be a complex one if your grammar has more number of productions. So definitely it is a lengthy pattern. We can say that this is not so efficient. So what we need to do, it's simply like we need to, what is the alternative here is, so when let us suppose if I take this one, when you check the look ahead, what has to get, let us suppose S tends to C, yes, C is matching, and what next has to get? A followed by D. So A has to get, so A, which option is there with A? Two options are there. I have to check which is correct. After that you need to check. That means every time if I have one look ahead, then our answer will be easy, no? We have to check what is the next one. That means it's like when you are at some point, you have three paths. So which path is the correct path you want to reach? Then there is some board like, so if you go to the left way, you will get some destination. So like this if you have, you will select the correct path, no? So let us suppose here if I have a point A, if I go like this, I'll reach to B. If I go like this, I'll reach to C. If I go like, I'll reach to D. Let us suppose I want to go to the destination D, but what you need to do here if I don't have any indicators here, I have to check with which path is correct. So what I'll do in backtracking, I'll first check this path and I'll go here. It's not my destination. I'll come back. I'll check for this one. It's not my destination. I'll come back. Now I'll check it out. So instead of like that, here if I have one indicator that, so if here only I'll give indicator like, here if you go you will get B, here if you go you will get C, here if you go you will reach to D. Like this if I have, directly I will select this path without going to this one. So that is one alternative we have to go, that is we call it as look ahead. So this concept we will use in the next concept of parser, that is we call it as predictive parsing. So to avoid the complications in the backtracking, we'll go to the next one, predictive parser. So this predictive parser we'll see in the next video lecture. Thank you.